So, back in May, we talked about selective outrage, how the media can turn 12 e bike deaths into an existential crisis while ignoring the 1,324 Australians killed on our roads last year. So now, Queensland Police have doubled down on that narrative with Operation Yankee Surety. They've seized more than 240 e mobility devices in just 1 month, and they're celebrating it like they've dismantled a criminal empire. But let's be honest, this isn't about safety. This is about optics, revenue, and political theatre. Because if the government truly cared about road safety, they'd start with the 1,324 deaths and not the 12. I'm Jay Fallon, and this is the Slippery Slope podcast.
Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
So let's break down what Queensland Police proudly announced. Operation Yankee Surety seized more than 240 e-mobility devices, issued fines, confiscated non-compliant e-bikes and scooters, and framed the whole thing as a major public safety victory. But look closely at the language in the article. It's not about dangerous riding. It's not about reckless behavior. It's not about fatalities, it's about non compliance. And non compliance is bureaucratic code for revenue raising. This wasn't a safety operation, it was a fundraising drive dressed up as public protection. The government didn't fix infrastructure. They didn't improve bike lanes. They didn't educate riders. They didn't support innovation. They just seized devices and handed out fines because that's easy, profitable, and politically convenient. So we've got these road deaths versus e-bike deaths. Queensland had 12 e-bike deaths last year. Very, very sad and unfortunate. Australia as a whole had 1,324 road deaths. 12 versus 1,300. If the government was genuinely concerned about public safety, they'd be launching Operation Road Surety, Operation Dangerous Driver Crackdown, or Operation Stop the Real Killers, but they're not. Why? Because maybe it's because cars generate billions in fuel excise. E bikes generate probably next to nothing in reality. Fuel excise revenue last year was 15.71 billion. That's with a B, 15.71 billion. Over the next 4 years, it's projected to hit 67.6 billion. Okay, that's why cars get a free pass. That's why e-bikes get seized. That's why safety operations magically target the devices that don't contribute to government revenue. This isn't public safety, it's selective morality driven by selective revenue. We've got a government that's hostile to innovation. Queensland politicians love talking about reducing congestion, lowering emissions, or encouraging alternative transport, supporting green innovation. But when people actually adopt a clean, efficient, low cost form of transport, suddenly it's a little bit of a problem. Suddenly it's dangerous. Suddenly it needs to be regulated, restricted, and seized. This is a government that punishes innovation while protecting outdated systems that make money. They want fewer cars on the road, or they say they do, but they don't want fewer lower fuel excise dollars. They want lower emissions, but not lower revenue. They want cleaner transport, but only if they can tax it. E bikes threaten the wrong cash flow, so they're treated like contraband. This is conditioning the public, in my opinion. Operations like Yankee Surety do something far more dangerous than confiscate e bikes. They condition the public, they train people to accept more enforcement, more fines, more surveillance, more compliance, more government control over personal transport choices. This is how freedom erodes, not through dramatic overnight changes, but through safety operations that normalize government intrusion. It's the same pattern we see everywhere and we've seen here before. Exaggerate a minor risk, ignore the major risk, enforce compliance, and celebrate the crackdown, rinse and repeat. This is selective outrage weaponized for political theatre. So these are the questions I think we should all be asking ourselves. These are the questions I think matter. If e-bikes are so dangerous, what about the 1,324 road deaths, and why aren't they the priority? Is the government fighting e-bikes because they threaten fuel excise revenue? Why does Queensland celebrate confiscating e-bikes but ignore the real killers on our roads? Why is innovation punished while outdated systems are protected? And who benefits financially from keeping people in cars? I wonder. These questions, I believe, expose the hypocrisy behind the crackdown. But, selective outrage isn't new. Scripture warns us about leaders who obsess over trivialities while ignoring real injustice. Matthew 23:24. I think I've said this before. You strain out a gnat, but swallow a camel. Think of it. The government is straining out e bikes, which is the gnat, while swallowing the camel of 1,324 road deaths. Micah 3:11 says, her leaders judge for a bribe. Now, fuel excise isn't a bribe, okay, but it is a financial incentive that shapes policy. Operation Yankee Surety isn't about safety, it's about optics, it's about revenue, it's about pretending to solve a problem while ignoring the real one. And until our leaders stop swallowing camels and straining out gnats, Queensland will keep punishing innovation while protecting the systems that profit from our dependence. As always, this is my opinion. I'm Jay Fallon, and thanks for listening to the Slippery Slope podcast.
They just fuel a desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's going